Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Still seeing those partly cloudy skies out there this morning with some breezy conditions. We are currently in a wind advisory and expecting that to continue most likely through the remainder of the day. Seeing those peak winds up around 34 miles per hour in the last hour. Otherwise, expecting dry conditions to continue as we go through today, and just seeing those elevated winds as the main issue. If we take a look at our current surface analysis, we have that cold front that moved through the area over the last 24 hours. Now seeing that area of high pressure centered just north of our region, and that's causing those winds to have shifted out of the northeast and tightening the pressure gradient to see those breezy conditions this morning. And expecting that high pressure to slowly move eastward over the coming days, so we'll stay under a onshore flow as we move through the next couple of days, keeping things a little cooler, and then we'll return to more seasonable and warmer conditions as we get into the weekend. If we look at our upper level winds from this morning sounding, we have those northeasterly winds near the surface around 26 knots, and then seeing some weaker winds in the mid-levels out of the west to west-northwest, and a more westerly wind as we get in the upper levels, and seeing that peak wind around 37 knots. And the freezing level today is at 7,100 feet. We look at our current visible satellite, we can see still some clouds, plenty of clouds across the region. Got a lower layer of clouds coming in out of the northeast off the water, and some mid-level clouds moving towards the east. So we'll continue to see that as we move through the day today, and then we'll see some high clouds moving through as we get later into the evening time frame. If we look at the European model here, see how things play out over the next couple of days in the local region, we could see dry conditions as we progress through the day today and into the evening time frame. We'll see that onshore breeze continue as we go into tomorrow. That continues as well. Won't see as strong of a breeze through the day tomorrow. Right now looking like we'll stay below that wind advisory criteria. We should see those winds start tapering off this evening, just becoming a slightly breezy, and then we'll continue slightly breezy conditions as we move through our day on Friday. And those will continue to weaken as we move into the day on Saturday. But overall, expecting dry conditions and below average temperatures through the remainder of the week. And then on Saturday, we'll see that area of high pressure moving to the east, and a more southerly component to the wind will pick up through the day on Saturday. And that's going to bring in some warmer temperatures, and we'll have a weak upper level wave, or a weak warm boundary, mainly moving west of our area, but lifting through the region as we go through the day on Saturday. So that will help bring some additional warmth into the region as we get to the end of the weekend. And we'll see some shower activity well west of the region, but not expecting any precip here locally in the Wallops area. So we'll continue with warm and dry conditions as we go through the day on Sunday, and things continue dry as we go into the start of next week. If we zoom out here, look at the bigger picture starting Sunday night and moving into Monday, we can see a broad area of high pressure centered just south of our region off the southeast coast. So that's going to keep things dry and quiet as we move through much of the first part of the week. Our next potential chance of seeing some precip will be with a short wave that looks to be moving through the area late on Tuesday evening. That does have the potential of bringing a few light showers. The European model here is a little dry with that solution. Other models indicating a few showers making it into the area during the overnight time frame. Otherwise, as we move into the day on Wednesday, things looking to remain dry, and then possibly a more substantial upper level wave moving in as we get into the day on Thursday. So if we look at our 24-hour weather risk chart for today, the main story will be those elevated winds. We do have that red risk this morning, as we are currently in that wind advisory, and expecting a good chance of seeing that continue through the afternoon hours. We'll see those winds out of the east-northeast, 12 to 17 knots, gusting up to 26 knots for the afternoon. So a slight decrease expected as we get to the afternoon, but still up around that 25 knot limit, and then continuing to diminish as we go into the later afternoon and evening hours, so dropping down to a yellow risk for those winds above 25 knots. Otherwise, not going to expect much movement in the temperatures today with our high around 55 degrees. We're sitting at 55 degrees at this time, as we expect some clouds to continue streaming through the area, and those elevated winds will keep things stable temperature-wise. So going into the evening time frame, we'll see continued clouds in the area, and mainly just a few low-level clouds and mid-level clouds, and then some a broken deck of high-level clouds overnight. That along with the winds will keep temperatures from dropping too low, expecting our low around 42 degrees, with those winds weakening out of the northeast around 6 to 11 knots as we approach 4 in the morning. That's going to be our chance. We'll have a chance of seeing some patchy mist around the area, but nothing looking too impactful at this time. As we get to the start of the day on Friday, we'll see partly cloudy conditions and temperatures in the upper 40s. We'll see tides running half of a foot above normal. And looking at the extended forecast here, again, Friday's looking like we'll see more sunshine, so mostly sunny overall with slightly breezy conditions. We'll see our high temperature just a couple degrees above what we see today, so a high expected around 57 degrees. Going into the weekend, we're back to seasonable temperatures for Saturday with a high around 62 degrees, but we'll see increasing clouds as that warm boundary lifts through the region, so partly to mostly cloudy. And then as we go into Sunday, we'll see partly cloudy conditions and slightly breezy conditions, but we will see those warmer temperatures, above average temperatures, with a high around 73 degrees. As we go through the first half of next week, we'll see our temperatures in the upper 70s, possibly hitting 80 at times, but overall partly cloudy conditions through the daytime hours. We'll see our low temperatures in the upper 50s. We do have that 25% chance of a few PM showers Tuesday night with that short wave moving through the area. That looks to be more of a late evening, overnight event, so it shouldn't impact the workday task as it looks at this time. So looks like we have a nice warm stretch of pretty decent weather coming up over the next 7 days. So that's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again tomorrow at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day.